I am so happy to introduce you to a very good friend of mine. Her name is Carrie Rattle, and she is a financial therapist and coach. And during the pandemic, she actually bought another business called Stopping Overshopping. So I'm hoping that many of you out there are going to want to get to know Carrie too on a personal level, because I know so many of you actually need her. And I really love Carrie Rattle. She's just an amazing person. And I would love for you, Carrie, to tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and how you became a financial therapist and coach.
Thanks, Janine. I adore you too, and this is going to be so much fun. So thank you for having me. So I'll really shorten my life to be brief here for you. In my 20s, I started in banking with every hope to prove to the world that women were equal. A naive assumption. So I worked really hard alongside many other women. And after 30 years, women were now earning 82 cents for every dollar a man earned versus 69 cents when I started. So that's only 13 cents gain in 30 years. So I had reached the senior vice president level, and I was kind of reflecting on what have I done for the world? What haven't I done? And what do I want to do next? So I decided, plan A didn't work. So plan B is to get more money in the hands of women, because although power comes from within, money is a fantastic tool to help power. And so I decided to become a financial coach for professional women and couples, because quite often women feel disadvantaged when they're working as a couple. So I have been a financial coach for, 7 years now, I think. And I met a wonderful woman along the way who also worked with overshoppers. And that was her core of her business. We got to know each other. She trained me. I operated under her clinical supervision for 18 months because Dr. Benson was a psychologist. And then she asked me to buy her business. So April 2020, in the middle of COVID, I took a leap and bought a second business. And so now half of my practice is overshoppers, and my financial knowledge helps them too, because sometimes if you connect the dots and realize how much money you're spending, it helps you decrease your shopping.
Wow. So do you feel like COVID was a gift on some level in your business, or did you notice any differences in the kind of clients you were getting?
My business grew, so I am very thankful of that. But the reason it grew is because, of course, COVID was all about fear and losing control and not knowing what was coming next. And it was a lot of adaptation. First we cleaned the grocery shelves because we didn't know how long we'd be locked up. And then we had to cope by buying video games or other means of escape. Then we realized, oh my goodness, this is going to be a while. We need to sort of renovate our homes so the kids can learn from home and mom and dad can have private areas. And then relief started to come in the form of stimulus. And of course, more shopping came out of that. And because we couldn't go outside very much, more people shopped online. So online shopping escalated much faster than had been predicted around the world had we not had COVID. It also meant that because we had so much fear and we needed to take control some way and we needed to self-soothe somehow, people started shopping more, because getting a present at the door is always kind of a nice thing. And finding something online is a dopamine hit. And so it's like, chocolate bar, shopping, yay. So So unfortunately for my clients though, right, some people who were shoppers became over shoppers, and some over shoppers got to a point where it became debilitating for them. Their world was so consumed. And so more people have come to me over the last 2 years for sure.
Wow. Yeah, I definitely, the convenience of having things brought to your door. It's like, I definitely, I think that probably has changed us for good,
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, we have a grocery store right downstairs, and I rarely go in there. If I can just have it come to my door, that's great. I love it.
Well, and you're a working mom, right? So I
Well,
know your
my
daughter's
daughter is an adult. I mean,
she is. But you've been working for a number of years, right? And time for a professional woman who also has a family is a high premium.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a couple the other day, and they need to curb their finances a bit. But, she gets groceries delivered to, and her husband said, for my wife, it's peace of mind. It's mental sanity to not have to go grocery shopping with like 2 young boys. And I said,
Yeah.
that's more important. Mental sanity is more important than cutting your budget in that area. So we're not going to do that, because I believe in no deprivation. And if that's crucial to survival, then it stays in the spending plan, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So do you have ideas for people who are thinking that they may have gone overboard during this last 2 years? Do you have tips for them? And because I'm going to share your contact info too with
Oh, sure.
this video.
Yeah. So first of all, it may be temporary, right? Because shopping is a coping mechanism, and it's often a coping mechanism for an emotion you can't bear. So during COVID, it might have been boredom or needing to take control somehow, or just escaping for a half hour, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if now that we're slowly but surely getting out there a bit more, if you think your shopping is going to decrease, you may be okay. But if you have clothing in your closet that still has tags on them, if you occasionally hide boxes before your partner comes home or your mom drops over, may be an issue. If you feel you have debt, and yes, you're paying the minimum off every month, but you're not paying your credit card off every month, that may be an issue. If you find when you're shopping, you're buying like 3 of the same item, only different colors. So things like that may be a bit of a hint. And I've got a long list of behaviors, but those may suggest, right, that you want to think about how you can decrease. And so there are 2 parts to it. The first part is putting the pause between your urge to shop and actually buying. So everybody talks about how you leave things in the shopping cart and walk away, right? So that's always a great start. But an even stronger idea is to understand when you're feeling the urge. And I can tell you now, your body feels it before your mind knows it. You may have anxiety in your tummy. You may feel your chest is tightening up. Whatever is going on, you're feeling it in your body first. So if you start tracking what's going on when you're shopping, you'll get to know your body. And that means having a list of other things to do so that you don't go to that website and start shopping. It could be small chores to do. It could be going to take the dog for a walk. It could be just putting laundry in or something. whatever it is for you, if you can separate the urge from the action, the more you do that, the stronger you get to be able to repel that urge. The other part is, if you do a lot of shopping, it means you're missing something. So if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, love and affection, self-esteem, esteem from others, belonging to your peeps, your tribe, and then self-actualization, which is doing what you think you're here to do on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
Every person has these needs. And you know what? If you're shopping, you're not getting one or two of these needs.
Mm.
So if you think about why your well isn't full and find replacement actions other than shopping to fill that well, that's how you start, so that your well becomes fuller, which means you have the urge less often, which means you don't even have to work on having the pause in there to begin with.
Yeah, that's great. It's funny, you know, since we moved this year, there was like a lot of shopping, but just to, you know, set up a new house, it's just, there's so much money that goes out the door because you're trying to, like, you know, and find the right thing and make the right thing. It's like, and it's amazing how expensive the endeavor is. But like, I got to a point where it's like, okay, well, it's maybe 90% there, maybe 95%. It's 90%. I don't want to bring another thing into the house. But then I saw something that I wanted and I just bought the other thing. It's like, it's not, you know, it's not the end all be all, but it's like, oh, it's a little rug outside of the bathroom into our bedroom. And it's like, I want that rug. So it's funny.
And are you still happy with it?
Well, I haven't, it just arrived today,
Okay.
and I'm waiting for the rug pad that needs to go under it to come. And then I will be happy because, you know, we have bare wood floors, which are great, but it's cold. There's something about the winter that makes little rugs feel much more needed.
So that's nice, you know, and for you, it could be entirely utilitarian, like needed, right? Because I mean, first thing in the morning, you get out of bed, you're in your bare feet, you go to the washroom, you jump in the shower, you're still in your bare feet.
Yeah.
And here's the other part that it may have been addressing for you. Something cozy, something warm under your feet, right?
Yeah.
So in some ways, that's almost like not quite a love and affection, but feeling safe and warm and comfy and not shocked in the morning, you know, with the cold. So things mean something sometimes. Sometimes they're very utilitarian, but sometimes they're just like the cherry on the sundae that just finishes off what you really, you know, needed for you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's funny. I do think that like I don't like shopping in general. So if I'm going to, you know, get clothes, I work with a personal shopper so that I can just stay in a room and she can go and get the things I don't want, because you know, and she has a better sense and she tries to get me out of my comfort zone, which is hard to do. And yeah, but like, to me, that expense of having somebody else do the shopping is huge. It's like, it's huge. But I can definitely see, I mean, over the years, I've worked with people who had filled their closets. I had one client years ago who had closets full of clothes that, you know, had tags on them, had never been worn, shoes upon shoes. And she had been recovering from surgery and she just filled this, it was a huge apartment with a lot of closets, so it was kind of organized, but it was amazing. I mean, how the volume of what she had was really, truly something to behold.
Well, shopping starts with a good memory, like quite often a special memory, independence, having a first paycheck and shopping, or going out with mom, and that's the only special time you got with mom because you came from a bunch of kids, and it's the time you had away from your siblings. It usually starts with that, and then it gets into some sort of need. I worked with one wonderful client. She was top of her class as a doctor. And she had, you think about how long doctors go to school and then how much debt they have to pay off quite often. She had breast cancer. So when she went through her treatment, her cognitive abilities were affected. She had to stop being a doctor. So imagine your identity having to shift like immediately, right? And then her husband left her because she wasn't earning anymore. So loss of love and affection, loss of self-esteem, all these things hit at the same time. And she had fond memories of shopping. So she became a shopper. There is always a story behind why someone is emotionally shopping. And I tell you, when these women come to me, they are so strong and so brave, and that they've been fighting this. And meanwhile, it's something hit them along the way that just knocked them sideways, right? And they're so brave to face their shame and tackle it. It's amazing. They all have stories, Janine. And so it's really interesting. And, we see the clothing and people think, oh, they're just status focused, or they're greedy, or they have nothing better to do. But no. It is so much deeper and so much more important than that. And it's tough because, people feel judged.
Well, I'm so glad that you're out there, Carrie, doing this kind of work. I think, do you feel like people don't necessarily know that there are people like you out there who can help them?
There are very few of me in the country, and I work nationwide. I work with a number of people in California, a number of people in New York, Colorado, Miami, Michigan, you name it, right? Because yes, most people don't realize that there is help. And I have a program that's been proven to work by third-party assessment. So yeah, there is help beyond me even. There is help, folks. And if you just want to book some time with me and chat about the opportunities for help, I can send you in all sorts of different directions. So please know there is help, and please know that you can get on top of it.
Well, Carrie, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And I think I love that you are kind of fighting the good fight to help people find that love and affection basically for themselves, and to care for themselves. Because I think working with you it's an opportunity for self-care on a deep level.
And saving all that money, just think of all the things you can do with that money. Give to charities, take on the world, build your own business, and all those things, right? Exactly. Hire an organizer.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I have no doubt that even though you had to buy for your new home, it is all completely organized and looking absolutely beautiful, just like that.
I'm the cobbler's children. I'm too busy helping other people get their move on. It's like, but I do have plans, big plans, big.
I bet you do. I bet.
I've done a lot of things that make sense, but we're still working on it. But I love you, Carrie.
Love you, sweetie.
You just heard my husband.
Say hi to Martin.
And hopefully we can, well, I'll see you again, but hopefully we can see each other in person sometime soon.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
It's that human connection, love and affection thing.
Yeah, big. I'm a big
Yeah.
hugger, so you know.
It's a big deal.
So thanks, Carrie.
You are most welcome.
I'll see you again soon.
Okay, bye.